寒风笑逆，竹林间，夜交错忽，现明月。箫声起，折叶飘落，淹没在汹涌的夜。夜色竟然手中剑，背对暗芒，何惧险？出鞘迎雪，浓似墨；入鞘收笔，断流烟。剑力下寒光，心无杂念卷残霜。千竹万叶满是敌，叫我如何再忍让？一重山，一重庄，风声鹤唳夜如枪。划破长风，刺破乌云，叫一方惜别伤。剑力下寒光，心无杂念卷残霜。千竹万叶满是敌，叫我如何再忍让？一重山，一重庄，风声鹤唳夜如枪。划破长风，刺破乌云，叫一方惜别伤。剑力行行必过，万次磨砺，皆不再对错。他远山纵险关，藏出伤，不让泪滴落。剑出鞘，给予我，一剑斩断所有罪与责。这次生报来世，势必冲出心中间的巍峨。剑出鞘，剑落，一剑放后，仅需片刻。我在鸣笛在暗中，没人见过，听罪恶的呐喊在不断的渐弱。刹那间，箭射，永远这天为我变色。我直接引竹林间，不改我面色，为天有继续高大地，为我陷落去踏。哪怕黑色双眼的虚浮，也从来都没想过放弃正义而屈服。我心里面的大义是为天下剔除，任何不公平是在鲜血的余毒。但不是功名和利禄，世间无人能知数。揭开尘封的故事，前身有不凡的气度。剑力下寒光，心无杂念卷残霜。千竹万叶满是敌，叫我如何再忍让？一重山，一重庄，风声鹤唳夜如枪。划破了长风，刺破乌云，叫一方惜别是伤。剑力行行必过，万次磨砺，皆不再对错。他远山纵险关，藏出伤，不让泪滴落。剑出鞘，给予我，一剑斩断所有罪与责。这次生报来世，势必冲出心中间的巍峨。
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, as you can probably tell from what's going on the screen right now, we've got ourselves a bit of a situation. And the situation that we've found ourselves in for today is that Ryuuku sensei appears to not be able to, once again, keep his fucking mouth shut. And this is going to be a situation where we have Ryuuku siding with literal racists just because they said Saint Bad. That's the breakdown of this situation. Ryuuku, because the topical area is against me, has decided to fully lump himself in with racist Hoyoshills just because they're making hit pieces against me. So, why don't we go ahead? Why don't we start addressing the situation? This is the funny thing, right? I always talk about how when it comes to like these dramas and when it comes to these topics, I don't really need to go out and search or work too much to make the videos. This is exactly what I meant. It's just some people, they have like, I don't know if it's like a fetish at this point, but they seem to have some sort of interest in just like getting actually farmed. Because I don't know what is the point of even tweeting stuff out like this other than you just announcing, please farm me. Is there a reason? Is there a reason? We'll probably never actually find out. But don't worry, we will be making another actual video. So, without further ado, let's go ahead, let's start breaking this all down, and let's get right on into this. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it appears that our favorite old man from Japan seems to have gotten himself into a bit of a pickle again. It appears that this individual on the screen that you're seeing, Ryuuku Sensei, a teacher in Japan, has found his inability to keep his mouth shut when it comes to my name. he's going to find that that inability is going to cause him some more problems. Because we've got a tweet over here where, all this being said, I get it. It's so hard not to chime in on certain drama, especially when you know one side is a disingenuous, narcissistic gaslighter that misleads their audience at every turn about everything. How the hell they have any kind of audience is beyond me. Yeah, this is subtweeting, something that literal school children do because they're too afraid to say the person's name because they have the mental stability of a school child. That's what Ryuuku's decided to do. Don't give a fuck. Get over it and get over yourself. So Ryuuku's basically admitting to acting like a school child, and then is telling the reader to get over it, while also subtweeting me following. He subtweets me following the release of a hit piece against me that I have already disproven in a 2-hour react, and that's why the dislike ratio looks like this. A hit piece against me that's actually filled with misinformation and lies. And we have demonstrably proven in our react over here that not only is Zome a racist, who lies about being black, because as you can see over here in these two pinned comments, he states that he's black, but then not black at the same time. The same content creator who hangs out with neo-Nazis on his Discord server, because this is the type of shit this guy Alias202 says, and this over here is how Zome reminisces about dropping the hard R with neo-Nazis. This is the same content creator, the same actual Genshin Impact CC, the same literal racist that Ryuuku is literally throwing support for. And the reason why Ryuuku is giving this guy so much support is for one reason, guys. He said Saint Bad. He said Saint Bad. Ryuuku, I don't even think he watched this video, because you would realize from this video, all Zome does is just say that I said things, never actually play my clips, and just say that I was lying when not even ever providing a single instance of proof. That's why my react is 2 hours long, where I break down every single moment where he lies and then play a receipt from either his video or my video to disprove it. And so not only has Ryuuku decided to support a literal proven, demonstrably proven racist, because he's not willing to do his own research and actually see all of these posts that have been surrounding the space. These are all public, by the way, because these are pinned public comments. Ryuuku could have easily taken the time to actually educate himself on this situation, which you probably should do as a content creator in the space. He didn't even attempt to educate himself on the situation at all, gather any of the public details that are easily looked up regarding the situation, and just give the blanket statement of Saint Bad. Saint Bad. I don't care if the guy's racist. I don't care if the guy's literally lying in his entire video. He said Saint Bad. He said Saint Bad. So Saint must be bad. And you want to know what the best part about all of this is? This is Ryuuku, once again, showing a very, very, very awful side of his public persona. Yeah, I'm going to be real here. Supporting a literal racist with no logic in his arguments, just because he's against me, isn't a great look. And it's funny that Ryuuku is deciding to do this, to take this kind of absurd, ridiculous public stance, that it just calls into question this ridiculous post that he made a couple of months ago. And I wanted to take the time to actually break this down, because Ryuuku, in this post over here, you can tell how much of this is all woe is me. Look at how poorly I've been treated by all of these other individuals. Look at what I've done, or look at what all these other people have done to me to ruin my career and cause me problems. Woe is me. Please feel sorry for me. So, let's read this. And let's start explaining why, Ryuuku, all of these things are happening to you and why they've been happening for the past 5 months. Hey everyone, just a message to let you know why I've been quiet on YouTube the past few weeks. Long story short, IO responsibilities have been keeping me away from the computer, only really enough time to send a few tweets every now and then, and when I do have time, I just want to switch off and relax. There's that, but also a general sense of dissatisfaction and disappointment in the overall gacha community in recent months that has left me hesitant to post content that I usually would, like game news, blah blah blah, whatever, right? Since that whole thing that happened in May, so you can see over here, Ryuuku's already recognized that he has a bit of a subtweeting problem. His subtweeting problem is so large, he simply can't mention the fact that I literally just created videos talking about how this guy can't stop crashing out again. Yeah. That's what I did 5 months ago, because this guy was acting like an absolute fucking freak to both me and Tectone. And it was absurdly easy to farm this situation because the entire community recognized how much of an absolute freak you were being. Oh, wait, let me just play back a part again.
Line. That's what they were looking for. It's literally there. You are completely wrong on this.
We're arguing. Sorry, I'm not arguing. Ryuuku's yelling at me about the most replayed part of a YouTube video. He's telling me, trying to convince me that the most replayed part of a video is what players of a game want most. And it's a fact.
Jesus Christ. Do not do that again.
Y'all thought it couldn't get worse. Y'all thought it couldn't get worse.
And that's the type of video that's getting this many views, right? This many likes, this many comments talking about how much of a weirdo you're being. And that's why we just simply show how you've acted towards other streamers, other CCs publicly. And then people are like, I don't really like this guy. That's all we needed to do in that video. So let's keep reading here more. Let's see the explanation on his end. I've been getting comments and messages almost daily of people saying things about me or accusing me of things which are completely divorced from reality due to the misinformation, or rather disinformation, spread by two influential CCs. And because they have such a large audience, and with so many people deciding to take whatever they say at face value, many have chosen not to even give me the time of day to even listen to my side of the story in good faith. Well, Ryuuku, it's really odd that you're over here talking about how bad you feel that people aren't willing to hear your side of the story, and that they're believing things at face value, apparently, allowing misinformation to cloud their judgment, when literally that's actually what you allowed to happen to yourself, because you decided to, because you were so blinded by literal hatred for me, you just openly believed an entire 19-minute video full of disinformation, misinformation, and actual literal lies that were, again, disproven by myself over a 2-hour react. This has to be one of the most hypocritical statements in retrospect that I might have ever seen. Because this guy decided to go ahead and just be like, oh, somebody said Saint's a gaslighting liar manipulator? I don't even need to see the proof. And fuck it. I don't even need to see the proof. And shit, at this point, I don't even care who it's from. I don't care about the proof. And I don't care who's making the claims. If they said Saint bad, I'm all in, baby. That has to be the internal monologue, right? If you're openly agreeing with somebody who lied about being black. Just openly throwing your support, your hat in the ring for the guy who lied about being black. What's wrong with you? Are you this eager to try to get a dunk on me? Are you this eager to try to prove me wrong? Are you this eager to try to get back at me for simply telling the community the type of person you are? I never lied when I talked about you, Ryuuku. I simply exposed parts of your personality that you desperately didn't want the community to actually see. And you've managed to take that exposure and somehow turn it into me lying about you. No, it's the truth. You're just a terrible person. Because who supports somebody who openly lies about being black? Lies about being black to avoid accountability for giving his entire server the N-word pass. He lied about being black to excuse giving his entire server the N-word pass. Because how do you give the N-word pass to your entire server if you're a non-black German? That's not even slightly understandable either. And of course, right, we can't forget about the fact that this non-black German, where they have laws against anti-Semitism and neo-Nazis, this guy, this non-black German, is literally housing neo-Nazis on his Discord server. Because it's the same guy he's chumming it up with. Alias 202. That same fucking dude that's right here. And it's funny. He's probably never going to address the fact that he supported this guy. He's probably going to say, I wasn't actually talking about the Zome situation. Yeah, I was subtweeting something else. He's probably going to try to worm his way out of this with like an explanation like that. But when you see the timeline of December 17th, and then this video was uploaded on December 17th, I'm just going to be honest. His hatred for me is so massive. He'd rather side with a neo-Nazi sympathizer who lies about being black just because he said I was a bad person. Awesome. So, now you're probably beginning to see why people do this to Ryuuku. Let's see a bit more about what the reaction is from his end. Those opinions eventually will get spread to people who weren't even aware of what happened, but I hear things about me from the community and end up believing the same things too, because that's all they heard. Ryuuku, you have to think for a second, why when people mention your name, it's mostly only bad things that are said. It's because you have so many documented instances, like I've already said before, where you just act like a complete unhinged weirdo. You make entire streams, 3-hour streams dedicated to talking about one person's video. Like, you did it to me. You did it to Captain Cabinets. And then you're also on the record saying shit like this publicly as well. You're out here theory crafting relationships between other CCs in the Wuthering Waves space to try to explain why people don't want to talk to you. No, it's not because there's some shit going on behind the scenes. Do you want to know how that's making the content creators involved feel? You literally are like, it's actually just harassment. You are literally harassing women online. I don't even know how else, if this is what she's saying about it, you're harassing her. There's no disputing it. It's probably, honestly, this is probably like sexual harassment too, if we're frankly going to be real. This is why people don't like you. This is why people don't like you. So, ladies and gentlemen, I could spend the time to read more of this sob story piece that Ryuuku decided to post to garner more and more sympathy points from a player base that no longer wants anything to do with him, because I just decided, hey, it's probably high time for us to start addressing this situation, because this guy literally just can't keep his fucking mouth shut. When all he actually had to do this entire time was just not speak if he's going to say things that are going to offend other people. If that's what he decided to do with his career, he wouldn't be in the spot that he's in right now, where nobody in the space wants to talk to him under any situation. But that's where he is right now, because we have literal track records, again, of every time you act like a weirdo, and then people see you act like a weirdo. You say shit like this publicly, try to talk shit about other content creators, right? In public forums, on your Discord, do all of this stuff. And now, I hope this is the final nail in your coffin, or at least the final nail in the fucking digital mouth that you keep using to sabotage your own career. Because hopefully you would understand that supporting somebody who lies about being black and hangs out, I'll just say it again, just for more that lies about being black and hangs out with neo-Nazis, right? Maybe making the mistake of throwing in your support with that crowd due to your blind hatred of me, maybe that is enough to finally be a wake-up call. Stop being a fucking loser online. You're like 40 years old. How are you telling anybody else to get over it and get over? You need to grow up. I've never seen somebody this bald, but also this fucking immature at the same time. You don't have enough hair to be acting this childish. You don't. Anyways, that's going to be it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. This is literally behavior that I would have expected from an actual 15-year-old. And it's just insane that we're having a guy who teaches 15-year-olds exhibiting it. I'm just, at this point, I'm tired. You guys are probably tired as well. And I just can't even believe that we've gotten to a point where this guy is just doing shit like this. I'm over it. I'm over it, and I'm glad that we can put this nonsense behind us. It's easier not to tweet than tweet. Let me know what you all thought. Peace out. What a fucking dipshit, man. Dude. Like, what else is this other than deciding to support a neo-Nazi sympathizer who lies about being black just because you hate Saint? That is literally just the situation, is it not? That is a literal breakdown of the situation. I don't even know how somebody could be that dumb. It's an indefensible position. Like, he could have like at least like deleted the tweets or apologized for them. You haven't even mentioned his name in 7 months. I haven't mentioned his name in like 3. If I'm gonna be fair, I haven't mentioned his name in like 3. That's because he was being a fucking weirdo on Gacha Smack stream. Right, he was being a fucking weirdo here, so I made a video about it. So basically, every time this guy just acts like a weirdo, I make a video about it. That's basically just like what the system is. When he acts like a freak, I make a video about him. And so it's, yeah, the last 2 times was 5 months ago, and then last time was 3 months ago, and now we're gonna have one today. So literally, he has like a 2-month cooldown. He like literally has a 2-3 month cooldown. All right. Well, that's going to be the Ryuuku situation covered. Let me go get that one uploaded for the boys. Man, I'm not going to lie. Zome has actually been the gift that keeps on giving. Zome deciding to go on like this crusade at the end of 2025 literally produced over 4 videos for me. Like, Zome single-handedly produced 4 videos for me. That's insane. 4 fucking videos. Naturally, it was a joint effort with Ryuuku to get it done. Joint effort with Ryuuku to get that 4th one done. But it's there. Yeah, they had the team-up bonus active for that. PvP December is a wonderful time of the year. December usually is when a lot of the PvP actually begins. You're right, December is actually when the, what's it called? Is when the Mr. Pokey PvP started. I don't appreciate your bigotry against transracial people. Isn't that like, isn't that the norm? I think that's actually a norm. Like, I think you are supposed to be bigoted towards them. Because that's I don't think transracial is a thing. Yeah, I think that's the one thing that people have like not been allowed to do. Yeah, that's the one thing people have not been allowed to do. Even in like 2020, they weren't allowed to do that. That was banned. I think it's the fact that blackface is offensive. I don't even think it's blackface that's offensive. I think doing any kind of face is actually offensive. Like, if you did like a yellow one to be an Asian person, that would also, I don't think that would work out for you. I'm just being entirely honest. I really don't think it would work out for you. You'd probably get in a lot of trouble. And if you did like a brown one to be like an Indian, you would get in trouble for sure. Yeah, you 100% would. Now that I think about it, I don't see any situation where you wouldn't. It just it really seems like it. Yeah. Yeah, that's I think that's one thing most people pretty much most people reasonably agree on. All right, now I can get all this Ryuuku trash off my fucking screen. Awesome. Now I can get more of Zome's trash off my screen as well. Awesome. Cool. Cool. Alright, it appears there's been another bit of a news drop, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not entirely sure how interesting this one is going to be, but it is our first set of actual 3.0 sort of like character breakdowns. Let me get the intro for this bad boy ready, because, hey, we can always have a bit of our breakdown. Cool. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it appears that Wuthering Waves is finally kicking off the individual character marketing, because we've got the post-Lament Anthropocene Stars Intertwined information sheet for Lene. And while unfortunately we're not going to get the full details of her kit with this breakdown, we will be able to get a pretty up close and personal preview of things when it comes to her lore and her personality. And they've actually got a bit of a nice little voice line prepared for us. You might recognize it if you've seen some of the past PlayStation trailers before. Let's see it.
Don't blink! You'll miss the best part!
She kind of... that sounds... I'm not gonna lie, that sounds like a little bit more annoying than it does in-game. I don't know what it is. It sounds better in-game than it sounds by itself. So maybe it was just too loud. My bad, guys. Anyways, editor, maybe you turn that down. I don't know. She kind of sounds like, it sounds different in game. Maybe there's like a different like isolation track or something that they use. She kind of sounds like bitchy. It's like I'd be like, stop. Like, can you like stop talking? If I heard that in real life, I'm probably not alone. I'm probably not alone in that take. So I didn't like that. Anyways, we got that going. Now let's hear a little bit more about her in game. Don't blink! You'll miss the best part! That's like what she sounds like, bro. Story. Lene. About Lene. Her own colors. With one final touch of blush, she caught her own smile in the mirror. Achieving flawless makeup was never as simple as it seemed. Okay, so we're basically, I think you guys can kind of tell the kind of like tonal shifts that we've gotten ourselves into as we get into some of these character breakdowns for some of the units over here, right? We used to be, I'm thinking back to the days of like, Augusta, Carlotta, Chacona. We're thinking about like their upbringing and stuff like that. Talking about the struggles they had in childhood, how like their parents are dead and stuff. No, for Lene, the first thing that we're talking about is her makeup. Yeah. So I think you guys can kind of tell. It seems like the seriousness of the setting, at least for me, when it comes to 3.0, it seems we kind of like dialed it back a little bit because a big focus of this arc is like school life, right? So I can't really imagine that we're going to be seeing a lot of like, I don't know, like kind of like that nitty gritty, the dark details that we're familiar to in the Wuthering Waves world. But who knows? Maybe we'll see. Maybe she's got like some crazy trauma that's going to be broken down. But yeah. Achieving flawless makeup was never as simple as it seemed. Lene, though having some knack for makeup, was a stranger to the latest trends that swept the world of teenage girls. Which eyeshadows shades would blend naturally? How could lip gloss look playful yet never overdone? I'm not gonna lie. I think Kuro Games can recognize that one of the main audiences of their game is going to be dudes. This is one of the most like woman-oriented documents this is not made for men. It's not like this is, I'm pretty sure this is meant to appeal to girls. Maybe I'm wrong though. She dove into tutorials and tips, soon realizing that makeup was a delicate art. Not just putting together random colors, yet her progress was swift. In just a month, she transformed from quietly experimenting with clashing hues under her eyes to earning glowing compliments from the drama club's seniors. So I guess we now know where Lene's club is when it comes to Star Torch Academy. She's a theater kid. Lene is a theater kid.
Don't blink! You'll miss the best!
Makes sense. Anyways, now for Lene, makeup means something entirely new. A way to let her own I don't know how why does it sound so bad? What?
Don't blink! You'll miss the best part!
Music of life. Maybe this is why she's so loud. Lene's headphones are always set at a volume only she can hear.
Don't blink! You'll miss the best part!
She must have the volume incredibly high because I think this is her just talking normally. Like, this is her talking normally. And the volume on her headphones is just set to, like, blasting. Only she can hear it because it blows out everybody else's eardrums. I think that's the lore reason for why the fuck she sounds like that. Lene's headphones are always set at a volume only she can hear. What is on her playlist depends on where she is and what she's doing. She needs a powerful rock and roll when modifying a motorbike, switches to symphonies for inspiration while doodling and let soft, bright, okay, so it's like lo-fi. Okay, she got lo-fi on with the breeze when relaxing on the rooftop. And during class, she mutes. So, let me actually show to you what Lene actually does in class when it comes to, this is misinformation by Kuro Games. I'm surprised that Kuro decided to actually put literal lies right into their into their official materials. But I've got proof over here from in-game, right? What Lene does in class. So we actually had this ad over here, right? Where it kind of like shows Mornier teaching a class. And what you'll notice, right? What you'll notice is that Lene's over here, right? Lene's over here. But then by the end of the video, she's not there anymore. So the reality is that Lene does not listen in class because she doesn't go to class. She left before the class was over. Yeah, that's why she was there and then not there. Yeah, that's why she's gone. Just a cool little tidbit for you. All right, I did hear something from somebody out there, right? I did hear something from somebody out there, and it's probably a good idea for us to just double check and verify. I'm going to look up the Wuthering Waves Japan account. I'm going to look up the Wuthering Waves Japanese Twitter, and we're going to see what the Japanese version of Lene sounds like when they're saying that shit. Are you guys ready? Maybe this will be maybe this will be enough to save it. Maybe this is enough to save it. Nope, they're all, the voice direction seems to be exactly the same in all of them. Yeah, no, she's just loud. No, she's just loud. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna blame I think the VAs all got the same message. Be super fucking loud when you record this voice line. They're both annoying to me in the same way. So, it's intended. And I think they did the job correctly. They did the job correctly if she sounds a little annoying. I think she's meant to be. Because I get the same vibe from JP and EN at the same time. She's a Gyaru. She sounds normal for one. They're supposed to sound annoying. That's what I'm trying to say. Her being a little annoying is lore accurate, guys. That's the point. That's the type of archetype this unit is in terms of her design. Anyways, let's keep going. Lene doesn't like absolute silence. That's pretty clear. To her, something bottomless and unsettling lurks beneath it. The wind whistling past her ears as she races. The teacher's voice echoing through the classroom. The laughter and chatter of classmates in the hallway. These sounds are the true cornerstones of her daily life. Ooh. Now I know what I want to see. Since we found out during an interview with Kuro Games that the lament is apparently like where a situation where there's no sound, maybe because we have seen during the 3.0 trailer, Lene and Rover go to stop what looks like a lament. Maybe this is where she's gonna have like some sort of like, I don't know, affliction, right? Where maybe she gets into like some sort of area in the story where there's no sound at all. And then because of that, right, she ends up being, like, super, like, you know, out of place. Maybe that seems to me like something that would actually make sense as a part of the story's progression. And it would, of course, right, actually relate to her lore. Now, what else do we got? So, when you're feeling uneasy, why not put on a little background music? She's also probably going to have a scene where her and Rover are riding the motorcycle. They're about to go fight, like, the boss or something. And then she'll put on, like, a crazy rock track. It'll probably be a little bit like 2.7 when Galbraina had, like, the music, too. But instead, it's probably going to be, like... Deja vu! That would be pretty good. Yeah, if they have something like Initial D that her and Rover put on... They put on, like, some Initial D shit, and then they're, like, riding up, like, some walls and stuff, and then, like, killing a massive TD. Well, it's kind of obvious that's going to happen. It's kind of obvious it's going to happen. So get those race tunes ready. You know get the JP race tunes ready. You guys know. What is it like? Was it like Running in the 90s? Oh, that's a good one too. When asked, she'll smile and step closer, slipping off her headphones and leaning in until her face is just inches from yours. Do you want to listen with me? The song playing right now is my favorite. Oh, she better do this in the story then. She better do this in the story, turn on some Initial D, and then they go fuck up a massive TD. Call me Dr. Seuss. Where are the credits? This might come as a surprise to many teachers at the academy, despite her long-standing, battle-scarred attendance record. Yep, we got battle-scarred attendance record. Yeah, we got proof of that one. Lene still performs remarkably well. She somehow manages to keep her grades at an average, sometimes even top level. Credits deducted for skipping classes, arriving late, unauthorized modifications to expedition motorcycles. I think we got proof of that as well. Yeah, we got proof of her illegal modifications.
Welcome to Sigma Presents All About Road Safety. Let road safety education roar like a supercharged engine. Today's headline, a serious case of unauthorized modification and speeding. This student was caught driving an illegally modified vehicle over the speed limit by 100%. A reminder from Sigma.
Sigma!
Excessive modification increases the risk of traffic accidents.
I'm sorry, that's still the best. This is still one of, like, the best things I've ever seen. It's still one of the best things I've ever seen. Unauthorized modifications to expedition motorbikes and various near violations are always replenished by the end of the semester through a series of wonderfully reasonable justifications. But when it comes to her weakest subject, which has to be world culture essentials, maybe the professor's voice is too gentle, or maybe those profound histories feel too distant to her. I guess she doesn't. Yeah, I guess she doesn't like history. Lene, who boldly declares before every lecture that she will absolutely not fall asleep this time, still sits upright with a look of earnest focus, only to slowly begin tilting to one side. Okay, so she's definitely going to fall asleep in class in the story, and when she does, I hope she falls asleep in Mornier's class in the story. I'm excited. It has to happen, because you want to know what I was experiencing when I was listening to this?
Reactor drive or an artificial sun.
I got fucking bored. I low-key wanted to fall asleep when she was talking. Bro, she is boring when she's saying this shit.
Is essential to maintaining Lahai-Roi's biosphere. Helios represents the pinnacle of interdisciplinary engineering. It must withstand intense and prolonged heat.
Yeah, shut the fuck. You guys ain't learning shit. She's actually just she just talking, bro. She's just talking. And now her clang bang charm. Trends among students shift as easily as the wind. At some point, Lene picked up the habit of collecting these small, delicate trinkets, limited edition fleet snow fluff charms. So basically what she's talking about is, like, she has a bag and there's a little clang bang, like, charm on it. Yet her favorite is the clang bang charm hanging from her clothes. It follows her through every part of the academy, chiming softly as its pieces collide as she moves. The senior who gave it to her said the sound was a reminder of home. Chang Li? Wait. Did Chang Li go to Star Torch Academy? Because they gotta be from Mount Firmament. They have to be from Mount Firmament. And I don't think it can be Jinsei, because I don't think Jinsei grew up in Mount Firmament. So, yeah, Chang Li seems to be the only person. Chang Li seems to be the only person because I think she's the only one that grew up in Mount Firmament. Maybe there's going to be another Jinzhou character. Guys, this is probably what probably makes more sense. There's going to be a Jinzhou character at Star Torch Academy that came from Mount Firmament. And they might know Chang Li, right? But maybe it's not Chang Li, right? Maybe it's not actually her, but it's going to be somebody else from Mount Firmament. And they're going to be playable, something like that along the lines, right? Or it's actually Chang Li, and then this shit is actually just crazy. But yeah, bit of a clue. Fun lore reveal, though. Glad we were able to break it down a little bit. But yeah, that word drew Lene into a brief, unfamiliar silence. To her, home was nothing worth remembering. Sensing this, the senior didn't press for an answer, only placed the Clangbang charm gently into her hand. In Huanglong, there's an old saying, home is where you can find peace. No matter where you come from, I hope you enjoy your days at Star Torch Academy. Now she stands beneath the open sky of Lahai-Roi as the wind shifts. Without thinking, Lene reaches up to touch the charm resting against her clothes, its surface catching and reflecting threads of sunlight. She realizes then she has found her home. Okay, so maybe she's like an orphan or something. Her parents are probably dead. They probably all died in a lament. That's likely her background. Her city is probably destroyed, and then she came to Star Torch Academy. That's 99% what occurred, so I guess that's where her latent tragedy actually is. So I guess we did actually get a pretty holistic view of her character, but now I'm wondering, who does she know from Huanglong? Who does she know from Huanglong? Some people are saying it could be Zhang Li Yao, actually. People are saying it could be Zhang Li. Maybe Zhang Li had a stint at Star Torch and then went to Jinzhou. That could have been the case as well. So we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see. But that could be pretty cool. All right, now we got her resonance evaluation report. And you're going to see that the setup of this one is a little bit more interesting compared to the prior ones. I'm not going to lie, though, it kind of looks like a little weird. Like, I kind of don't like it, but I kind of like the old ones better. But it is what it is. Resonance evaluation report. Student name, Lene. Synchronous qualification. I don't know what the fuck that is, but I guess we'll find it out later. Forte overview. Tests reveal a Ray-Bell's curve with a pronounced periodic waveform. Therefore, the student is classified as a congenital resonator. Her tacit mark is located on the posterior side of her left thigh. Okay, so we kind of all were able to tell that from the splash art. According to the pre-admission personal file in the student's own account, the student exhibits a congenital sensitivity to visible light and an innate affinity for complex, uncommon colors. Yeah, kind of makes sense why she's so... Well, let's just be honest here. It's pretty obvious based off of what she does in game. By using pigment inks, she can change the wavelength or frequency of visible light within a limited area, effectively mixing colors at will. These colors are primarily used in spray paints. Testing indicates that these pigments differ from industrial materials, behaving more like non-physical optical projections. Okay, so she can basically create anything anywhere then, I guess? Anything anywhere. Additionally, eyewitness reports from several students suggest that the subject can alter nearby visible light wavelengths to disrupt frequency detection instruments, achieving an effect similar to invisibility from both visual and frequency perception perspectives. I'm going to be honest, isn't that like kind of like an extremely powerful ability? Like extremely powerful for the purpose of like, I don't know, like literal, like, bro, she could like, isn't that enough to like single-handedly go like, be like an infiltration spot? That's how she disappears. She literally abuses her Forte ability to leave class. She just goes invisible and leaves class. Wow. All right. Anyways, just make sure she doesn't use that ability to skip class again. I guess it's too late. It literally already happened. Anyways, overclock diagnostic report. Ray Bell's waveform test sample analysis shows elliptical fluctuations and a stable time domain. No abnormal fluctuations were observed, and examination results are determined to be within normal parameters. So basically, she's at no real risk of overclocking. But there's something a little bit suspicious in the wording over here. The test went smoothly. It's been ages since we've seen a waveform this stable. Practically identical to the textbook samples by Mr. Ray Bell. Honestly, it's so textbook that it feels a little unnatural. There's a concept of being too perfect, or too good, or like too real. And that could actually be a sign that some of the stability is actually being faked. So who knows, right? Who knows? Maybe there is something going on under the surface. And when I hear this voice line,
Don't blink! You'll miss the best part!
yeah, maybe she got a couple of screws loose somewhere. So yeah, we'll just have to see, brother. All right, what else do we got over here? We got her appearance. Okay, so she's got a lot of colors. We all know that. She got the light golden hair. Most people would call this blonde, but sure. And then the motorbike, and then the graffiti. Yeah, illegal modifications. That's got Sigma rolling in his grave. Awesome. But yeah, anecdotes. She's got her mod kit, so I'm pretty sure you're going to go talk to her to go pimp your ride out. Yeah, she's probably going to be the one. And apparently it's enough to send Mr. Sigma into a full-blown system alarm sprint. And when it comes to her hobbies, she's got custom paint jobs, skating, parkour, and FPS games. Wait, so does that mean that we're actually going to have we have to have an FPS section in her quest then, right? Her favorite food. Let me let you in on a little secret. Everything tastes amazing when you're eating it in class. I hate her already. I hate her. I'm just going to be honest. If I knew this person in real life, you probably wouldn't like them either. Imagine sitting next to her in class. Just imagine just being a normal person at this academy and then having to deal with her. You would fucking hate it. You would hate her. Let's just be real. Let's just be real. If you were just like, imagine you're paying tuition to go to this school, right? Get this degree and stuff, right? All this, right? All this stuff. And then she's just over here, like, eating instant noodles in class, yelling like this. She's just yelling like that, eating instant noodles in class and shit. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit, man. Oh, shit. Now let's wrap it up with her thoughts. When I first got to Star Torch, I used to wake up in a cold sweat, wondering if I could really just live like this. I kept waiting for the other shoe to drop. I was chasing this fragile, perfect idea of freedom all day, and then running from my old self in my dreams at night. Ooh, what's that old self like? Just waiting for the bill to come. So I started making every choice like it was my last day here. What would I do if this were it? Yeah, and looking back, I guess the answer was almost always skip class. Bro, I'm just gonna be honest. I'm gonna wait and see what type of characterization this unit has, because I see the potential of her getting annoying really, really, really quick. Because a lot of the stuff that I've seen in here is that, yes, bro, she is a fucking criminal. That's what she is. She's literally a criminal. I see this. Like, bro, you know she's actually sent somebody to the hospital. You know that's occurred as well. But yeah, we'll just have to see. But as a whole, I think that Lene is obviously meant to be, you know, like that delinquent, a specific sort of archetype from the Japanese anime, the rom-coms, whatever, the school sort of stuff that, you know, has been very common in the space. And personally, again, that's not my favorite archetype of character. I literally do find it actually annoying in most of the media that I do see. But who knows? Maybe Kuro's going to add like that nice soft side to her that makes her less annoying as time goes on. Because, well, she's going to be the highlight of the 3.0 story, guys. So I'm just hoping that they find a way to make everybody end up liking her throughout it. That's annoying. She's not even in game yet.
Don't blink! You'll miss the best part! Miss the best part!
Oh, so does she need to be in game for me to say that that somebody could find that annoying? Does that need to be in game first? You stupid idiot. Anyways, that was more so a joke. I just kind of wanted to play around with that voice line a little bit. Anyways, that'll be it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. Our lore breakdown on Lene and what you can expect from her character moving forward. Like I said before, guys, you're allowed to like and dislike characters in the story. And the thing is that I'm actually happy that Kuro's adding in characters with potentially annoying elements to them. I don't think that's too much of a problem. I don't want every character to be like this perfect Mary Sue that all of their qualities are all like completely, you know, like agreeable. I like having characters with flaws, and to me, Lene's flaw is that she's kind of annoying. Let me know what you all thought. Peace out. Guys, it's fine. It's fine for a character to be a little annoying. That's that's part of what makes a story actually good. That is actually part of what makes a story a little good. You're allowed to sort of dislike the characters a little bit. Kind of like how some people probably, I hate Galbrina. She shot Particia. Ah. There are probably people, right, that reacted like that. That's okay. It's okay for that to happen in the story. All right? It's okay. It's not a big deal. It's just, it can be part of the story writing. It's not bad. It's not anything wild. Okay, alrighty. Alrighty. Lene lore. That's a cool one to drop today, right before we get right on into all of that good old goodness. With her actual kit. Because, yeah, her actual kit's gonna be dropping, tonight. Yeah, her actual kit's gonna be dropping tonight. All right. This one's going to be Lene lore reveal. Boom. Cool. All right. Got that Lene lore reveal ready. Now, we've got a bit of a video on. Not this. But a new region preview. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Kuro has more actual news ready for us. So it's going to be a bit of a fun one. Alrighty. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. The news for Wuthering Waves 3.0 is not going to end here. We've got more. Kuro Games is officially announcing the full new region preview for Lahai-Roi, actually going through and detailing all of the specifics of the different biomes, environments, exploration mechanics that we're going to be seeing in just a few days. So what we're going to be doing is actually breaking down, well, all of the great stuff that's actually going to be in here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right on into it. So we're not going to actually go ahead and read this whole thing down here because it's like literally illegible. It's basically just a breakdown detailing that Lahai-Roi has a bit of a polar shift going on, and it has like this weird climate stuff happening. That's why it looks like a tropic, even though it's underneath snow, because that's where Lahai-Roi is. This is all underneath a mountain of snow. So yeah, that's just like some context for why it doesn't actually look like we're in Antarctica. Let's get on into the area events. So the first one's going to be Lahai-Roi Pioneers, and that's just going to be the baseline exploration event that we always get at the start of a big region expansion. Think areas like Renacida when they got added, as well as Septimont when they got added. We got something similar to this. And so the rewards for this bad boy are going to be Astrite, a sigil. So yeah, one of those things you can attach to your user profile. And you're seeing here 2 new materials. We now have a material that's going to be the Forgery Premium supply for Lahai-Roi units and a Premium Enclosure Tank for Lahai-Roi units. And so if you're curious about what this actually means, let me show you. So you might have noticed from the live stream that there are some unique details when it comes to some of the new playable units. So let me just use Linnae as an example over here. So one of the things about Linnae, right, is the fact that when it comes to her Ascension materials, they're all going to be stuff that's from Lahai-Roi, right? Nothing too surprising about this. However, she's using a new skill upgrade material, and she's also using the Exo Swarm cores. What this means is that these new drops, these Forgery Premium supplies, Lahai-Roi, are essentially meant to cover this combustor material, right? And then the Premium Enclosure Tank, it's meant to encompass this Exo Swarm core. So if you want to think about it this way, one of the fastest ways to being able to build your units without using wave plates, the new 3.0 ones, will be to complete the new exploration. However, there is a bit of a situation regarding this. Let's just imagine that you don't actually pull any of the Lahai-Roi units. These rewards are effectively useless to you, because you can only spend these on the Lahai-Roi characters and weapons. And so if you are building pre-3.0 units, these are, I guess, useless. Or you should save them, or I guess you can convert them or synthesize them, but that seems a little bit rough, right? I guess I'm more so surprised that they didn't come out with just like a general one that had 1.0 to 3.0 mats. That seems like, to me, just I don't know why they just wouldn't have one that has all of the mats in it. It's kind of only just for the 3.0 stuff. But the thing is, you have rerun banners. And so I guess the logic here doesn't make that much sense to me. When you have rerun banners for units like this and this, like, and they use, why wouldn't you just have event rewards that just, like, why wouldn't you have event rewards that can be used on all 3 of the banners? It can only be used on one of them. Maybe some feedback, right? Maybe some feedback to potentially give to Kuro Games. Just, I mean, I'm just gonna be honest. I can see the reason for why they do it. It's just the restriction seems a little bit unnecessary to me, and seems to go against the design of the rerun banners that they're putting in the version. That's just my take. You're free to disagree with it, but again, I'm just trying to see the thing that seems the most player friendly, and I don't think this is it. Now we got Capturing Starlight. Photo Collection Event. This is basically the same event that we have every single update. And this is what I'll tell you about Photo Collection Events. You actually don't have to do these, and you can just, these are permanent events. They get added to, like, the little log. You can just never actually do them. And you'll just permanently have them. I've like forgotten to do them since forever. And on like a rainy day, I just plan on doing all of them at once. But yeah, that's because I don't want to take photos. I think it's fucking boring, so I just don't do this. But it's good to know that whenever I do need Asteroid, I can just do them all. Now we got main quests. Chapter 3, Act 1, What Burns Beneath Frostlands. To reach Lahai-Roi in the midst of a void storm, you dive into a spatial tunnel. Alright, so basically these are going to be like minor spoilers for what actually happens. And naturally, knowing that there's an Act 2, you've got to know that whatever happened in Act 1 naturally gets resolved, right? Otherwise, Act 2 can't happen. I'm not going to bother reading the... Okay, so it's going to be available on the 15th of June. That's the main thing. It's going to be a 2-part quest. I assume these chapters are going to be pretty beefy, considering that it's a 2-part quest. Because if it's only like, it's probably going to be multiple hours, right? Oh, sorry, January, not June. You guys understand. But I guess we'll be going to the Bjarder Woods with Mornier. So that's some of the fun that you'll have over there. Now let's look at the new locations. Star Torch Academy. I'm going to be honest. The setting and the colors of Star Torch Academy are... I'm not sure how I feel about it being this bright, right? I'm personally of the mindset that Star Torch Academy to me looks like they had the saturation bar turned up by like 100%. These are probably like the brightest and the most vivid colors I've ever seen in like the game, right? Very, very, very tropical aesthetic. You want to know what this reminds me of? A fucking Capri Sun. That's what this reminds me of. A goddamn Capri Sun. Right? You guys know what I'm talking about. It looks like there's an Instagram filter put over this thing. I'm not necessarily sure if that's a good or bad thing, but it does stand out a lot. And I just hope that it doesn't get to the point where it gets like, where you get like color fatigue from things being too bright. Right? Because that's... color fatigue is 1,000,000% a thing. That's why there's not like rainbows and splashes of colors and shit like everywhere. Then we got the Rebirth Uplands. And this to me just looks like a literal racetrack that they have set up somewhere. So, yeah, this literally looks like, yeah, I think this is a racetrack that they have set up. And I guess this is building on top of, like, part of that alien shit that was left behind with the Extra Strider. Okay, nice game, Kuro Games. So, yeah, this is probably where Lennay's gonna be spending most of her time. I mean, it's like a blend of, like, technological stuff, but then the architecture is still, like, mossy with like stones. So it's kind of like this blend of like technological ancient civilizations, which I think is very cool, right? I think the vibe to me literally is like alien Stonehenge. That's still the vibe that I get from this, because it's like angular but also aged. Now we got the etching planes, and this is where I feel like the aesthetic of Lahai-Roi really comes to a head. This looks like you're in Hawaii. It's kind of insane. It literally looks like you're kind of going down like a scenic vacation stretch, right? In Hawaii. Just think about it. You're like driving down like the hill, going over there and stuff. Like the beach is like down there. It feels like I'm in like a tropical like vacation spot, which it's definitely, I think it's just like a setting that a lot of people had no idea was coming, right? A lot of people thought like New Federation. A lot of people thought like, you know, like a sprawling urban city. They thought it was going to be similar to Honami. And like, bro, it looks like you're at like a tropical beach resort. And that's, I think, the part that I feel like, where are like the TDs, the enemies, the other civilizations, that sort of stuff? I just want to see how it all fits together. Because these roads go somewhere, right? There are roads going to Star Torch Academy, which we can clearly see here. Where are these roads going? Now we got the Maw Burrow desert. And this is where it looks like we're in a blend of like fucking Dune and Horizon Zero Dawn. Bro, like what is this thing? And like why are we in like the Dune desert at the same time? This shit looks crazy. And I feel like this is going to be one of those bosses that we're going to like ride up this guy's like back on our motorcycles. It is 1,000,000% going to happen. You are going to drive your motorcycle up this thing. And, well, you remember what I said about Hawaii and tropical resorts? Yeah, that last screenshot was the sunset. This is like, I mean, what can I say, right? It looks like one of those like exotic islands that you go on vacation and it costs like $2 million for a weekend. That's what it looks like here. I mean, fuck, it looks good, man. It looks damn good. I hope they get some sort of like beach resort event here. They better have a summer event where they get like a bunch of like, you know, new swimsuit skins for all the units because we've already done it. And then we get like a beach resort thing that like pops up over here. How the hell would you not? There's an actual literal rainbow that's naturally forming in the fucking area, bro. Come on. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. We all already know. Then we got the Bjarter Woods. And I feel like this area to me has to be one of the ones that stands out the most. Because this looks like an entirely different game. Like I've been saying, this looks like some Ori and like the Blind Forest shit. Gives me like a little bit of like Shadow of the Colossus vibes with like these kind of like, you know, very, very, very ancient architecture with like the circles and the rings and stuff. And then obviously all of this going on as well. It's really nice. And it's very fantasy. And I think it's going to be something that's going to add a lot of variety to the huge influx of sci-fi, right? The huge influx of sci-fi that's coming in with 3.0. That's undeniable. But they're making sure to balance it out with its own fantasy component, which is cool. And then we've got the Fang Spire Chasm. And this, to me, is really looking very similar to the area in 2.6 and 2.7, the Sanguis Plateau. Remember where we fought the False Sovereign? It is giving me, like, very similar vibes to that, but it's a little bit more Mass Effect-y at the same time, because this is actually a giant sword. Yeah, no, that's a sword. And that's, like, architecture built around a sword. Yeah, that's a sword. That's the giant Gundam sword. So that's where the sci-fi is coming back. And now we've got the Star Word Riseway. This was the front end, right, of that thing. You see the sword behind it. That sword is behind it over here. This is just an alternative angle, right? It's like we went all the way down, and this is all the way down and out like this. So, yeah. If you wanted it to look different from Sanguis Plateau, the place where we fought the False Sovereign, don't worry. This is just like, that's the same area. So this really is just like a lighting thing. These areas are like, you could walk in-game for like 30 seconds and take both of these shots. Just imagine riding up this thing on your motorcycle. Yeah. Imagine using this as a runway for your motorcycle and seeing how high you can go. That's going to be a lot of fun. All right. So clearly, all of that stuff is looking great. Now let's look at the Giant's Gaze. And this is the part to me that really is just screaming, yeah, we're going to have some alien shit in this game. Because this is some alien shit in this game. What the hell even is this, brother? This looks like it should be on a different planet, right? This looks like it should be on a different fucking planet, like on Mars. But nah, this is Earth, brother. Now let's take a look at the next event. Operation Frontier Renewal. And this is the thing where I looked at this and I was like, oh, this is a little bit like Arknight's Enfield, actually. Lahai-Roi's route network, along with Space Trek's observatory that used to monitor its terrain, ecosystem, and climate, has been devastated by a void storm. It's time to rebuild them all. Use rebuild materials gathered in Lahai-Roi to assist Delifa in restoring the route network and the Space Trek Observatory. So, yeah, I guess this is just going to be us, like, walking around to a bunch of different spots to, like, rebuild these things that will make new roads. And the goal is to just rebuild every road in Lahai-Roi. After doing that, it's going to unlock new content and increase the network activity of an area. So this looks like it's essentially the exploration mechanic. And you won't be able to get like 100% exploration unless you unlock all of the additional new contents and collectibles from, you know, doing these things. Reaching certain activity milestones advances the Space Trek Observatory's rebuild progress. And you can use that to broadcast control signals, adjust the weather as well. Cool. Now we got Peaks of Prestige, the rekindled duel. Ladies and gentlemen, the TFT card game is finally back. The honestly only good minigame that we had in version 2.0. Maybe that with fishing. I wonder if they're going to have us dueling on bikes, because that's also something that Yu-Gi-Oh did too. I think we all forget that Yu-Gi-Oh did that. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh had like had an arc where they dueled on bikes. It was really retarded, but that they literally did it. So there's clearly a perfect opportunity for us to maybe do a little bit of that here. It would be very funny if that actually happened. But yeah, Peaks of Prestige has its own fan club at Star Torch Academy, but apparently there is a crisis. Now, the fate of the fan club lies entirely in your hands. Yu-Gi-Oh! Build your own custom Peaks of Prestige decks using new special cards and face off against every duelist in Lahai-Roi. Great. We're going to have the PP. We're going to be the leader of the PP fan club. The PP fan club. Hell yeah, brother. Earn Lahai-Roi rank points by defeating opponents to increase your rank level. Climb the ranks to unlock new cards and powerful tactics. Why would I not call it the PP fan club? It's literally Peaks of Prestige is condensed as PP. So, Peaks of Prestige fan club, it's the PP fan club. Anyways, I don't know why people are making that so weird. Now we got the search for the Solus skin. I don't like how this sounds. I don't really like. This just reminds me. Just anything. There shouldn't really be anything that ever has like something and then skin after it. It's just not a good name. Searching for skin. Like, if you just, like, mess up saying this, it sounds so bad. Like, if you like, stumble over your words, you literally say, search for skin. This is such a bad event name. It's so bad. Like, search for Solus. Some Soluskin, having lost their shepherd's guidance, now wander Lahai-Roi. Seek out these lost Solus skin and bring the Solus seeds you gathered to the giant Solus skin on the Smart Print Cube reboot. Move the cube blocker to complete the Smart Print Cube compilation and reactivate the Smart Printer. Wait, they got 3D printing in this game? Okay, wait, let's check this out. Hey, this is actually kind of cool. Wait, no, okay, that's actually kind of cool. That is like, that is unique enough to actually be kind of interesting. Yeah, I like that. That's like basic enough, but also has like that little layer of complexity that makes it engaging. I'm cool with that. Route Constructor Racing Challenge. I mean, this is just going to be fun. I don't think there's any additional commentary we're gonna make. It's just racing through rings, which is it's just a racing game, which are inherently fun. So, like, it looks good to me. Looks good to me. All right, but yeah, that looks like to me pretty much every single event, every single setting, everything that's actually gonna be coming with Lahai-Roi. And one thing that I noticed was that we didn't get a preview for a lot of the rewards for pretty much anything after, like, the very first event. So I don't know if this is, like, Kuro Games, like, low-key fucking up because they, like, forgot to add the rewards for literally everything else. Because, like, this is the type of shit where maybe you should have put the rewards. Right? Like, isn't this just inconsistent that they showed these and then nothing else? I don't know. Low-key, it feels like there's... It feels like this is incomplete, but maybe I'm just tripping. It seems like it's incomplete. Because there's no way that these don't have rewards, but, like, why not show them? Or maybe they're tied to the exploration. And so these are just, like, exploration things, and that's why. I don't really know. We'll see, right? Anyways, I naturally have, like, a couple of issues on my end, specifically with the delivery of, like, only Lahai-Roi mats. I think that's just, like, a little bit weird. I'm not the biggest fan of it. But other than that, a lot of the stuff in this update, there are clearly some things that are going to be very subjective, like how you deem the environment and the aesthetic and how you feel about it. But I think there's a lot of things that are just going to look objectively pretty great. I'm not super sure how I feel about this exploration mechanic. I'd like to see how tedious it feels, because one moment that I don't want to have is like feeling like, okay, great, it's like a massive number of chores. Now I gotta go find this thing in like one quarter of the fucking map. Gotta go find whatever the fuck this green circle in a tube is in that other quarter, and then this circular rock elsewhere. As long as this one doesn't feel like some crazy chore where it's like, okay, like I don't want to rebuild it, I think it'll be fine, right? But yeah, all the other exploration events look pretty solid to me. I really like this whole layout that they got over here, showing like the duels. They really added a lot, it appears, to the POP, like the PP fan club, actual integration. So yeah, I mean, even like the puzzles, right? Which can be the stuff that turns you off the most. Even the puzzles still look pretty innovative and pretty fun. And of course, nobody can complain about racing. So yeah, I think the thing that I'm looking the most forward to in the update, when it comes to like the side activities, is without a doubt going to be the PP fan club. And so if there are any other PP enjoyers like me, let's get ready for a lot of PP content very soon. So yeah, that will be it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you all thought. Peace out. All right. Very, very, very cool. All right. It's a great day when I could ask, are there any PP enjoyers in the chat? It's a great day when I can ask that question. I saw Ryuuku in chat earlier. Did you? What was he saying? Was he trying to justify his behavior again? I I I don't think it's possible at this time. I don't think it's possible at this point, bro. I don't think it's possible at this point, bro. There's another Ryuuku compilation? No way, man. He said more? That's too... This is the thing. Think about it this way. Bro has enough dirt on himself. There's enough dirt on Ryuuku for, like, several videos to constantly be made about the guy. Like, it's so easy to just not tweet. It's so easy to simply not tweet. And this is the thing that I don't understand. How are all these CCs with these fucking day jobs and shit, right? Why do they spend so much of their free time not making content and just tweeting? Like, I don't get it, right? Obviously, I'm full-time. I never fucking tweet. These guys are part-time, and they're tweeting. Dude, I'm telling you, man. I don't know why so many Gacha CCs love using Twitter. I don't get it. I really don't. I don't see very many Gacha CCs that ever... They love to argue. I think that's just what it is. I think this is just proof that like Ryuuku just loves arguing with people. I don't even think that's it. I think he just wants heat all the time. Yeah, it's just heat all the time. Oh man. Oh man. This was me. He responded to my tweet getting mad at this. I made this tweet. He got mad at me for making that tweet. Yeah, that's Ryuuku right there. Oh man, dude, this is the thing. There's just enough to make, again, I'm telling you, there's just enough to make multiple videos on this guy all the time. It's just, I don't even know how this most recent video was going to do because, like, think about it this way. Have you guys ever played, like, StarCraft or, like, Warcraft 3? You guys know how you always start out and you have like a gold mine or like a mineral field, and at some point it like runs out and you need to go like get a new base. This gold mine is out of gold. He's out of minerals. It's empty. So like I don't even know how the next video is going to do because I've extracted all of the value out of his channel already. So it's just like, brother. Oh. 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 All right. Well, I don't think there's too much of a need to investigate any of that bullshit. I don't think there's any need to investigate any of that bullshit anymore. But yeah. My favorite thing is when he said, since what Zome did in the past, it's not as bad as you using ad hominem against him. I don't really. Okay, so we got Ryuuku supporting the guy who's pretending to be black. Again, that's literally what I said in my video. He's supporting a guy who hangs out with neo-Nazis and pretends to be black. I mean, hey, if that's the hill that you want to die on, brother, go for it. Brother, go for it. If that's the hill that you want to die on. All right, guys. I'm now wondering, we're kind of just... Oh, we gotta talk about the Zenless Zone Zero situation. You wanna know what my favorite thing is regarding the mass dislikes that I've gotten on my ZZZ video? You wanna know what my most favorite thing is? All this proves. It's because I have a literal monologue over here at the very end. Righty. The mass dislikes on this video, all it does is literally proves, again, the toxic positivity of the ZZZ community. Do you want to know why? Because it's going to be just as easy as simply playing this final segment of the vid. You ready for this? No, this is just like a Giga casual outfit. Like, what, does she fight with this? All I'll say is, from the main features that I've seen in the update so far, we might cover the optimizations later. I think that there's a couple of good things in here, but there's a lot that really gets me suspicious. And the stuff that really gets me suspicious is just entirely based off of previous things these developers have attempted before. I get a lot more suspicious when I've seen these devs try to reintegrate or re-promise things that they already said they were going to do, because they've already fucked them up once, right? Tremendously in a lot of different circumstances. And so this was me being as critical as I can possibly be, given that this game needs that level of attention, considering how much they fucked up. However, what I will say on top of this is that I probably will be coming back to the game for 2.5 to check it out, see what's going on, and actually see whether or not the promises being made over here have been followed through. Because I'm always willing to give these devs one last chance, but this is probably going to be literally the last one. If they fuck it up tremendously, and it's just, if there's anything that really turns me off, I think I'm just going to be done with this game for good. Because at this point, their room for failure, they don't have anymore. The runway is out, and they've abused the goodwill of the player base for way too long to not actually be producing any actual results. So we'll see, but that's my take on this live stream. I know it was really long, but I did want to do a... They mass downvoted me for that. Hey guys, this game has a literal track record of failing and lying to you about how they're going to fix the game. They said they're doing all of the same things that they didn't do the last time they promised, and so I'm going to be hesitant to believe the devs this time and wait to see what it actually looks like. Mass downvoted by this dog shit community. You literally repeated the same exact thing that I said was going to happen in the fucking video. Like, I brought up the actual 2.x. My take is, I brought up the reaction by the community to my 2.0 live stream in this fucking vid. Previous soft reboot live stream. Because version 2.5, right, is essentially, is that I literally bring up how I was mass downvoted for the ZZZ one. Oh, man, this community never learns, man. This community just never learns. Because you want to know what my next video is going to be regarding this game? Farming this fucking community because you have 2 spending events in a fucking row, you retards. This game has 2 spending events in a row. Everyone knows your Giga bad faith? Oh, so this is what I'll say. If you're a Zenless Zone Zero player and you are celebrating 2 consecutive spending events, there's clearly something wrong with you. And if you're going to bandwagon to say that a CC's bad faith for calling out 2 spending events in a row, the game deserves this community. I'm the one CC that decided to call out 2 consecutive spending events, and now we're going to go ahead and bandwagon and say I'm bad faithing the game. That's why this game is dying. That's why this game is dying. A CC calls out 2 consecutive spending events, and you say they are bad faith critiquing the game. This was the same shit that led to everyone quitting HSR. But hey, let's just do it again, right? Because HSR definitely has a great community right now. Yeah, everyone that plays HSR right now, it's got a great community at the moment, right? You got like 2 people to talk to about the fucking game because everyone quit. Because it got nickel and dimey, predatory for every single thing in the game. Would you please explain why the new banner formula is predatory? Oh, yeah. Because every new character that gets released does what the other characters do, but 3 times better. After they release Dialin, the new any banner that gets you to try to pull a rerun is predatory. They've already released a new stun agent that does what every other stun agent did in 1. If you pull on a rerun banner, you're just going to get power crept by a unit that does what your character does, but also 3 other things. How in God's name can you not say that ZZZ's reruns are predatory after they release Dialin, who does what Ju Fu Fu does, who does what Lighter does, who does what Ching Yi does, better than all 3 of them in their individual niches, and does all of them in 1 unit? These are the devs trying to rug pull you again, make you waste your pulls on units that they're going to rug pull power creep, just like how Hugo got rug pull power crept and how Ju Fu Fu got rug pull power crept. Ju Fu Fu literally is the prime example of a unit who had a fucking 4-month shelf life because they released Dialin. People are saying, oh, your Astra Yao, she's tier 0. Can't wait until they rug pull her. Because guess what, guys? They're going to do it. Because they already did with Dialin. Alice, can't wait until they rug pull her. Can't wait until they have a track record of rug pulling units. They have a 3 fucking month shelf life. And then they're unusable afterwards, and there's a literal replacement for them that's already been released. When that's the track record of this game, any rerun banner, any discount, all of that, it's predatory. Because they're just trying to bait you. They're trying to bait you into pulling right before they release a unit that just makes that rerun that you spent your money on actually a waste. Because guess what? Guess what? How do you think a person that pulls Ju Fu Fu feels seeing Dialin get released? How do you think that part of the player base feels? Oh. So, how good is it then if they were to put Ju Fu Fu on that guaranteed rerun banner? Isn't that just predatory? Wouldn't this be the most predatory shit in the game to have Ju Fu Fu on this banner and bait people into pulling Ju Fu Fu when Dialin is literally Ju Fu Fu but 3 times better? So, if Ju Fu Fu was here, is that predatory? Because you're trying to literally manipulate the players into pulling a dog shit unit when there's a better version out because of the power creep in this game. So when next patch, when they release an attack character that's better than Silver Anby, it's predatory, right? That they tried to bait you into pulling Anby right before they release a version that just does everything she does but better. Next patch, when they release the Alice character that does everything she does but better. Because they already did that with Dialin, where they released Ju Fu Fu, and then literally 2 patches later, they released the unit that's actually just her, but multiple times better. And so, reruns in this game are literally predatory when there's this much fucking power creep. When there's this much power creep, reruns are insanely predatory. And trying to bait players into pulling reruns for units. Guys, you want to know who knows best when a unit is going to get replaced? Hoyoverse does. Hoyo knows when they're releasing a unit that's going to power creep another unit. They themselves know because they designed the schedule. So, when you know Hoyo's in charge of releasing the power creep, and they have a track record of releasing Ju Fu Fu, and then 4 months later releasing Dialin, what do you think they're going to do to all these units that they're trying to bait you into pulling? What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is the likelihood that 3 months from now, somebody's going to be like, damn, I regret pulling on this fucking banner. Damn, I got baited into pulling on this banner. How many players do you think are going to be saying that 3 months from now? I feel like a lot of them. I feel like every person that pulled on this banner is in 3 months is going to say, I regret pulling on this banner. I'll put money on that. And the thing is, when you look at the track record of how they've power crept in this game, I think most people would put money on people regretting this 3 months later. If you don't, you're just refusing to see the actual facts of this game. If within 3 months, most people that pull on this are going to regret it, how is it not predatory? If in 3 months, most people that pulled on this banner are going to regret pulling on it, how is it not predatory? Even Wotads can't defend this shit anymore. And this is the reason why. You guys know I'm right. But you just want to disagree with me because you really want people to say the game is good. You know I'm correct. You know I'm right. Everything that I said is that's going to happen, it's probably going to happen. That's why there's nobody asking, oh, can you explain? I've explained my reasoning. It's pretty much bulletproof. Nobody can defend this anymore. This is predatory. You want to know when this wouldn't be predatory? This wouldn't be predatory if ZZZ didn't have a track record of power creeping every unit in the game. If ZZZ didn't do that, then I wouldn't have this take. But I only have this take because these devs can't balance this fucking game at all. And that's what makes it predatory. The power creep. But these guys are, you're saying that a guaranteed character with a discount is player unfriendly? Whoa, this guy's just a hater. Just because you're too retarded to understand my arguments, and you're also too retarded to see the track record, guys, of this company when it comes to managing this game, just because you haven't paid attention to what's happened over the past 6 months doesn't mean that I'm wrong. You simply don't understand my reasoning because you don't even know what's going on. You literally are taking your lack of context regarding the balance of this game and using it as an attack against me. Because I'm just simply telling you what occurs when these devs balance characters. They make a unit useless every patch. I'm pretty sure a unit gets power crept every single patch in this game. I've never seen such a ridiculous amount before. Like, there are so many useless units in this game. It's insane. So is Wuwa the opposite because of Chisa? Exactly. In Wuwa, you have to convince yourself to pull the characters. In Wuwa, people have to gaslight themselves into pulling Chisa. They had to lie to themselves to say that she's useful. Bro, in Wuwa, they release some of like the worst, like they have some of the worst releases in the game as new units. Like actual just dog shit on their release. Like Chisa is without a doubt, like nobody regrets not pulling Chisa. Anyone that skipped, I don't think there's a single person that's like, oh, I regret skipping Chisa. Nobody regrets skipping Chisa. Is there anyone that's like, damn, I should have pulled Chisa? Nobody! The only people you have in this conversation are people lying, right? About saying they don't regret pulling her. Because everybody regrets pulling that fucking character. You just stop. You use her on one team and she's not even... Just stop lying. Nobody actually likes having her on their account. You know she's useless. And you know she's gonna be useless for the next 45 fucking days. She ain't doing shit for the next 45 fucking days, bro. I thought she'd have new teams in 3.0. We all did. Because I didn't think that Kuro would just make her useless for 70 days, but they did. I was like, it would be a decision to make the character useless for 70 days. But they're doing it, so it is what it is. Sometimes when the company does something nonsensical, I just have to go with it. Because what they did surrounding Chisa's release doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. The only thing that's being felt right now is that Chisa pullers are just like, why I wasted my money. That's what they think right now. Every person who spent money on Chisa thinks they wasted their money. Imagine you spent real money on her versus like saved up pulls or whatever. You spent real money on her. Bro, you would be pissed if you spent real money on her. If you used only your saved pulls, not a big deal. But if imagine you spent $200 on her. And you got this. You spent $200 and she's usable on one team for 75 days. Usable on one team for 75 whole days for $200. That has to be the worst trade deal in the history of trade deals. Remember he said the same thing about Rosia? Oh yeah. And we all know where Rosia is right now, ladies and gentlemen. The actual... Think about it this way. Guys, have I ever been wrong when I said a unit's bad? I think the most legendary example of how right I am about meta takes is the truth about Zani. Because she's so dog shit, it's unfucking believable. Like, it's just, she's such a bad character. She is such a bad unit. And I'm just so glad that the player base in 2026 recognizes, dude, this unit sucks balls. She's so terrible. She's so fucking terrible, bro. Oh my lord. Like, this Zani unit, I genuinely think she's actually the worst one in the game. Like, I actually think she's the worst one in the game. From the perspective of, like, bro, her actual play style with Phoebe is one of the most unfun things in the game. Like, I've begun to realize it. The Shorekeeper Phoebe Zani team is my least favorite team to play in the game. Like, I've realized that Phoebe's kit feels awful. It actually feels terrible when you're not playing Phoebe as the DPS. When you're playing Phoebe as a sub DPS, she might have the worst kit in the game. I hate using her. Oh, I hate using Phoebe in confession mode. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the fact that she literally is meant to do actually no damage in a rotation. And now looking back on that fucking Zani 50% power creep, guys. That fucking Zani 50% power creep, guys. Oh my lord. There is no universe where any person is actually performing better with the Zani team compared to a Carlotta team. Like, I think for 98% of the population, the Carlotta team will deal more damage than the Zani team. Probably 99% of the population. I think 99% of the population, the Carlotta will do better than the Zani. No lie. No lie. But hey, somebody lost their career over it, so... And then, isn't it funny that somebody lost their career over it, and then months later, we're all just like, yeah, Zani basically requires Quickswap to be a playable unit. Imagine where Chang Li needed Quickswap because she doesn't have a team. Zani, in her best team, also, Quickswap is mandatory. Just imagine a character where in their best in slot, 3 limited character teams, you need to Quickswap. Like, why would I ever pull that team? When, A, I could just Quickswap with a regular team if I wanted to, but in this team, the only way to play it is Quickswap. Because otherwise, the performance of it is worse than like 1.x unit teams. Asmongold doesn't like Zani too? Based.
Yeah. I mean, I think my favorite character in that game is what's her name? Fucking Cardathea. Like, that's like I have that character totally maxed out, and I just use that as my main character.
Least favorite has to be
Zani.
Zani.
Like, there's any other ones? I have the one that like that goes Mamma Mia. I don't know why I can't think of the names. I haven't thought about it for a while.
Rosia.
But, like, I have her as well, and like I use the 2 of them just to like AOE farm. Rosia, yeah, Rosia. There you go. Zani,
okay.
I don't like Zani either. I don't like her playstyle. I think it's just like it doesn't fit with the way the game plays. Like, she has like more of like a Dark Souls playstyle, and I think that really, like, that's not the way the game plays, really.
I agree. Her animations take way too long. I think that's the main thing with Zani that people just really fucking don't like. When she's in her Nightfall animations, they are literally like, what he means by Dark Soul playstyle is that when you use an attack, when you press one button in Dark Souls, your animation can take like 3 seconds for one attack. Like, literally 3 seconds to do one attack. Zani has inputs where she presses one button and her animation takes like 3 or 4 seconds. 1,000,000%. When she's in her blaze mode, yeah, she's got shit that's taking like 4 fucking seconds. And I'm just gonna be honest, man. I'm not fucking about it. I'm not fucking about it. And that's what I mean by if you don't quick swap with the character, she's dog shit. Because her animations are so long and the damage is like so static. It's like if you're not supplementing the long ass animations by like going onto your Phoebe and then attacking with 1,000 damage because she's in confession mode and does no fucking damage, it's like the team's DPS is terrible. So yeah, that's why so many people don't like playing her, because she literally just feels like shit. Yeah, she just feels like shit. Zani has her own playstyle. Not everyone's gonna vibe with it. Yeah, like, again, 98% of the fucking player base doesn't vibe with it. Like, that's why I legitimately think, like, I think her rerun made no money. I literally think Zani's rerun made no money, and everyone realized, dude, this character is some dog shit. Wallenstein's gonna rip you apart. You wanna know what else you wanna know what other character Wallenstein's mained that had similar issues? Chang Li. Because literally, the exact arguments that I made about why Chang Li sucks, it's the same for Zani. And you want to know what the funny thing is? Zani just has less simps, so everyone agrees with me. But Chang Li just had a lot of simps, so they disagreed with me. But the reasoning literally is exactly the same. In their best teams, they have to use quick swap or they're fucking trash compared to everybody else on the roster. However, Chang Li now has a team where she doesn't need to quick swap. So I don't talk about her anymore. Because, again, my argument is that if the only way a character is viable is to quick swap, they're a dog shit unit that you should not pull. If their baseline performance without quick swapping is fucking awful, they're a dog shit unit. I don't care. I don't care. So Zani is dog shit. And Chang Li is no longer dog shit. It's that simple, boys. It's just that simple. So it's a you problem? No, it's not a me problem. Imagine if I told you you're only allowed to use when... This is like... You go to a restaurant, right? This restaurant serves burgers. However, this burger at this restaurant, right? The only way that it's served, they pour a pound of melted cheese on top of it. And so you say, this burger, it's fucking terrible. I think it's dog shit because while the burger might be nice, you're pouring a pound of melted cheese on top of it. And so because of that, I think the burger's bad. And then you proceed to tell that person, so it's a you problem because you don't like a pound of cheese on top. So it's your fault. The burger's actually perfect. You're the problem. That's what you're telling me when you say, or that's what you're telling me when I say, if a character can't be played without quick swapping, they're dog shit. Why order the burger? Guys, are you retarded? Because I can say that a burger with a pound of cheese on it is terrible without ordering it. Like, do I need to order it to say that it's bad and that I'm not going to order it? What? Are we... What? Because I was literally reading someone in chat say, it is my fault because I chose to order it. No, retard. I can see on the menu that the burger comes with a pound of cheese on top and say, no, that's a bad burger. Like, I hope you don't bring this level of intelligence to your everyday conversations. Because, like, you might get a wellness check called to your place of fucking residence. It's like, officer, he's gonna hurt himself watching TV. Anyways. Oh, he's a Rexlent chatter? Oh, this guy's a Rexlent chatter? Oh, okay. All right. I won, guys. Congrats. Just, I don't really know what we qualify as winning anymore, but sure, I'll give you that one, buddy. I'll give you that one, buddy. All right. I think at this point, ladies and gentlemen, I'm kind of just waiting for the kit reveal, combat showcase and stuff that's going to be releasing tonight. I ain't got much more to talk about. We're kind of just getting ready for 3.0. ZZZ, no, I'm good. I'm good on pretty much any ZZZ content right now. Cause what I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna just drop a video talking about this situation. We're probably gonna record that one tomorrow. It's gonna be very, very, very fun. And then we get to go expose the community once again. Because, well, let's just be honest, guys. We'll get to talk about this dislike ratio. We'll get to talk about the track record of this company. We'll get to talk about the Ju Fu Fu to Dial and stuff. We'll get to talk about how Hoyo chooses the banner schedule and how Hoyo has decided to literally organize characters to fuck over and rug pull as many people as possible in the past. Oh boy, it's going to be a blast. It's going to be a fucking blast. But yeah, that's how we're going to be doing it. Because yeah, I'm sick and tired of how retarded this community is, and I love any opportunity to call this community stupid. Legitimately. Because there's a reason why I actually made this video and decided to be as balanced and critical as I possibly could be about it. Because I already know what actually will happen. I already know that Hoyo is going to fuck everybody over. And when they do that, I'll be able to go use this as a reference. And this is the thing, right? I was fair. I wasn't even hating, and I wasn't even, like, over-exaggerating at all. I was just telling the truth regarding this game and the track record of the developers. That's what it was. And this is the take. It's getting mass disliked because I didn't say everything in the patch was amazing. That's the reason why it's getting mass disliked. It's because I didn't unilaterally say everything's good. Alright, Wotads, you got one... This is the last thing we'll do before stream. Wotads, you got one timestamp. You can provide it in 5 minutes. If the timestamp shows that I wasn't fair, then you can stay unbanned. However, if your timestamp that you provide, you have 5 minutes to find one, shows that I'm fair. Oh, full video? Alright. Anyways, it's just that easy, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, it appears that Wotads won't be in the chat during the video that I record tomorrow, but he's really gonna want to be there. Because I already said all the stuff that I was going to cover, but he preemptively got himself banned before that stream. So now we'll be able to read his ban appeal where he begs to be unbanned before that segment. Because, like, I gave him such an easy task. I was like, you have 5 minutes to find one timestamp of me being unfair in my react. Wasn't that just the easiest shit ever? You have 5 minutes to find one timestamp of me being unfair. It's like, hey, I guess we'll be able to just simply use him as another example of how retardedly toxic positive the ZZZ community is. Because, like, good lord. These devs can just say that they're gonna make the game good, not actually do anything, and you'll believe it. Even though they've already done that 3 times. They've already done it 3 times. Alright. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to rate Ethal, and then I'll see all y'all later. Now you are worse than Smack in this scenario? No, I'm not. I'm speaking only entirely the truth about this game, and literally anyone that disagrees with me is delusional. That is the truth. Literally, that is the truth, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to ZZZ. And we'll explain tomorrow. Don't worry. All right, peace out, guys.